are again for another night of broadcasting. Hello to anybody who's watching live, and for the rest of you, hello to YouTube if you're watching this the next day. We've been having a lot of excitement going on here. Would everybody talk so I can make sure all the mics are working tonight?
Hello.
Riz testing.
Check, check.
Very good.
I'm here.
Hallelujah.
Hey.
We've got a full crew. Apo's getting down, POTUS is getting down to the wire on having to leave for a while. How long have you got before the babies are due?
We have no idea. Could be anywhere between now and the 11th.
Now.
The
Right
11th,
now.
the
You have to
11th
go to
is the
hospital right now.
schedule.
Oh, it is the 11th.
It's drop dead the 11th. Hopefully it'll last longer. He's got twins on the way, so that's why it's a little bit indefinite. But we're getting right down to the wire. All things based on what happened with
If it's
previous kids. How long you think you'll be gone?
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, it's twins, so I have absolutely no idea. I may be, in fact, for all I know, I may be out, like, the whole thing.
Take the
We
number,
hope we can
multiply
get
by
him back.
2.5.
Yes, well, no, it's on the square. It's multiplied by 4. Twins are 4 times. If you have triplets, it's 9 times. So, yeah, it's because they give each other ideas, so it gets really crazy. Also,
I'm just thinking the first few weeks.
No, well, basically, like, because, like, I started the first mirror campaign, after Sam was born. So after when he was sleeping for an extended period of time. But
I wish I was part of the first mirror campaign.
I have no idea, like, where to think about that. Essentially, just probably I have a plan for what to do with POTUS, but we'll
They'll be
see what
amassing the
happens.
army in Valaki.
yeah, he'll be back
We'll see.
there running the headquarters or something. We'll see what happens. Could be several things. We'll have to rely on guest
We'll
stars
see
until
what
you come
happens. We'll see what happens between now and then.
back. Absolutely,
Yep.
and we hope she
Who
lasts
knows?
all the
Who
way for
knows?
good, healthy kids.
Who knows? Maybe he'll die.
Oh, goody! He died!
ju-
I don't have to worry about it.
Okay,
Cool,
well,
I can
there's
bring my
another
new
head that Derek has to take.
Yeah.
Cool, I can bring my new character in.
You're joking. I have several alt ideas or alt
I
ideas. in
know, we
store.
know.
You
I
always
am
have
playing the
several
super long
ideas,
game.
Mike.
I'm playing the long game. I'm gonna see how long I can survive on Sylvia with all of her bad choices, which
Oh,
seem
no,
to
yeah.
work out the best. Which seem to work out for the best.
And then there's
Except for that one
Victor
time.
that we voted most likely to get killed by the crew this week.
Yeah.
So if a
Well-
Vampus is out, then that significantly increases my survival chances.
Yeah.
Unless Vlad ends up accidentally melting you.
No, like with POTUS God, like his survivability increases greatly.
I've had a cold all week, a real killer of a cold, and so I'm real drugged up with cold medicines tonight. So if I sound a little bit like I'm stopped up, it's only because I am. I'm running on cold meds at the moment. So it's been an interesting week. Anybody else have anything go on this week of note?
Not particularly.
In your
Not
case,
really.
working too many jobs.
I chopped down a tree that killed my chainsaw.
Oh, ouch.
What else? This third radiator blew up in this goddamn Suburban, and all of them have been factory defects.
Ouch.
My car's in the shop.
Yeah. Also, I drew blood taking
That's
it out
normal,
last time,
Kyle.
but it's only a little bit.
Your car is
Yeah,
always in the shop.
my boss was like, dude, you gotta get rid of that car. And I said, what do you think I'm trying to do?
Yeah. Give me a raise and maybe I can.
I worked 11 hours yesterday with no break. The only time I got to sit down is when I went to the bathroom.
Weak sauce. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I'm not home till 6 o'clock in the night, and I'm bear wrestling golden retrievers and German shepherds into a bathtub.
That's
You
fair.
have
Bear
nothing.
wrestling.
And
You
all I
have
have to
nothing.
wrestle is grandkids. And
Uh,
I may
with
be
that
transferring to
in
cook,
mind,
That's good.
we will get back to what's going on. Last week we had a rather interesting session. They went off to find a little girl who'd been lost off by the lake somewhere and discovered she hadn't been lost. She'd been kidnapped by some crazed fisherman who for some reason had her stuffed in a bag and was trying to throw her overboard in the middle of the lake. The team managed to get out to him and basically wipe the lake with him. And his carcass got brought back along with the girl Arabelle. And when she arrived back at the lake, she proceeded to beat the heck out of the corpse, pretty angry at it, and then proceeded to order the Dawn crew around like she was the queen of Barovia, which Sylvia took just a little bit of exception to and decided to throw a sleep spell on her, which knocked her out. She is now sleeping, I think, in Sylvia's arms at the moment.
She is currently
Still
riding on
piggyback.
Rock's back.
No, she's piggybacked on Sylvia's.
Oh, she's still on Sylvia? Okay.
Yeah. And
So-
she just basically was like, sleep. Enough of that.
We also had our little tag along, prisoner, who I can't remember his name.
Isaac
Isaac?
Drosnick.
Yeah, he tried to make a play
Isaac,
for
there it
freedom
is.
and got the short end of the stick.
No, he got the long stick. And
got the very
a
long
lot.
stick. And a couple other things,
Um,
sharp things poked into him as well.
Yeah, he basically got held personed and stabbed for
think
the whole session.
I think Dirok killed him with his own axe.
I
Yep.
think, yeah, we
Yeah, I
basically.
mean, that's how it
let him.
ended, but
It got messy.
I
Yeah,
felt
we-
bad about it.
I also specifically
don't.
remember Alex feeling bad about this, despite the fact that the guy was trying to kill him.
There is no
he
honor.
was just pinned, and I was just stabbing him over
He
and
was
over
trying to
and
kill
over.
you. He was trying
the
to kill you.
Spent the entire session just rolling attack rolls on him.
Alright, let's
Felt
get
a little
in,
bad.
let's get in character.
Okay, so
Well, as we take off
walking back
tonight,
to town.
you guys are headed back probably to the Vistani camp, or are you going to go through Vallaki? Now, a couple of questions. What are you doing with Isaac's body, which is a big body?
Derek is still dragging it.
All right.
I remember Derek is
And
dragging
what
it by
are
the
you
foot.
doing with, I will let you know the name is Bluto, by the way. I guess a la Popeye, but
You know,
anyway.
really.
Yeah.
The fisherman who was
The
trying to
fisherman.
kill the girl.
we just took his head. We just need his head.
Dirok
You-
took his head.
Okay, so both of them are minus their heads, and Dirok is dragging
No.
the headless body of Isaac.
No,
Okay.
no. Isaac still has his head. Isaac is being dragged by the foot. So I'm
Okay.
dragging the whole body.
Dirok took the fisherman's head.
Yep.
And Vlad has cast gentle repose on that so that it doesn't rot. Strozny's entire body is being dragged along. No mutilation apart from
All right,
killing him.
and you are leaving Bluto's body on the beach.
The rest of his body, yes.
Very good. There is a
Yeah,
headless fisherman instead of a headless horseman lying in front of a boat on the Vallaki beach. Ought to be a pleasant surprise to some of the people that come down for a little stroll along the shore. We'll see what happens
Well,
with
we've
that.
already left at this. We've already left at this point, and none of us decided to try to bury him or anything, so it's too late.
Very
We
good. So
probably should send word to have someone
He was
remove
going to
that.
try to kill a child. He doesn't deserve a proper burial.
Okay, so on the way, sorry.
So then you are making your way back to Vistani camp with dragging a body which slows you down just a little bit, the little girl in tow, and various things. It will take you probably the better part of an hour and a half to get back. It is getting about noon. What are
We
you?
did it before lunch.
Are you? Yeah. Boy, you do a lot before lunch.
Is
what,
it noon by the time we get back there, or is it noon starting out on the hour and a half?
starting out, because you had a long
Okay.
session in the Vistani camp. Any comments that anybody's making or any plans that they're making along the way?
Yes, Vlad is going to once again look for anything he can use to make bandages or to mash into his poultice to improve his bandages.
Very good. Give me a nature roll, please.
It was survival. Do you want the nature roll? Okay. 5.
Ha! You should have stuck with survival.
I mean, survival is what we worked out, but it's. She says nature roll. I roll nature.
Yeah, it's how much nature he recognizes there. It's not a survival kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you eventually make your way back. Victor was fumbling a lot of things. I don't mean Victor, I mean Vlad was fumbling a lot of things on the way back and thinking about what had transpired out on the lake, trying to put it all together. So he apparently was a little bit distracted and didn't find as many herbs on the way back as he had on the way out. So
That's good.
eventually
I still have a couple.
you arrive back at the Vistani camp. Anything else you're doing on the way before we move over there?
Most likely, I'd be just trying to go as double time as possible because sleep only really lasts for about a minute.
Oh, I thought you said an hour.
I thought it was an hour. I just double checked the spell. It's duration 1 minute. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I can see it. You just keep casting sleep. Oh no, looks like you're getting tired again. Sleep.
I mean, maybe if she's tired or relaxed enough when she wakes up, she can just fall back asleep naturally.
yeah, right.
It's a little
She's a
kid.
brat.
It's a
She's a
little
brat.
kid. She'd fall back.
No,
asleep.
she's a freaking prince. She was a princess, man. Stupid brats. Can you tell I
Alright,
don't
so
really like kids?
in the process of the hour and a half trip back, did you recast sleep then?
I wouldn't recommend wasting the spell slots.
Yeah, I only got 3 1 slots left. I mean, I could, but
Does she need to be asleep? Like, did she need to be asleep in the first place? Like,
she was annoying me.
and
What better use than just shut her up for a few minutes?
Alright.
Answer is no. There is no absolute reason to have to continuously cast sleep on her.
I mean, I could, pop her head against a tree branch, but still.
Let's not. I mean, how prone is she to bad choices?
Sylvia's gonna buy chloroform in the next town.
Exactly. I will keep that bottle of chloroform. Thank you very much.
By the
You don't want to
time
hold her. Derek will be
you
good.
get back to the path up to the Vistani village, there's quite a few people starting to gather. You're seeing elves returning back, Vistani groups that are coming back from various searches in other sections of the forest. Some of the Vistani encounter you as you start up the path. They realize that you have her. She's beginning to wake up, and she rises up like a little queen on your back, riding on her finest strider. And but as she does so, she bends over and glares down at you, Sylvia, and whops you on the ear through your hood.
And that's when I accidentally lose my grip.
Wait,
Oh, jeez.
she did what?
She hit Sylvia in the ear. And so Sylvia's like, oh no, my grip! Just drop the kid.
Okay.
Make it just look like a total accident. I will happily sleight a hand if I have to.
Should have just gave her the Derek.
We were dragging the body, so.
We're busy.
Derek's an orc. He can do 2 things at once.
That's true.
Derek would be like, no, your form is all wrong. You have to hit like this.
Takes her head off.
Well, no, he would know that.
Check.
He would know. He would know that she's a little girl, so he would just like show on him.
Arabelle was not paying attention, failed her dex save, and is flopped on the ground by Sylvia.
Way to go. You're gonna screw this up for us.
No, I'm gonna help her up afterwards and be like, hey, look, kind of surprised me. Don't hit people that are being
Hey,
nice to you.
so that's your own fault.
Yeah, pretty much.
So have
She-
people, these Vistani, have they started to come out to us, or are they still just standing there?
Some of the ones that were coming up the path around you have ridden ahead rapidly on their horses up to the camp, and you hear a bunch of excited sounds up at the camp, so you can imagine people are going to be coming down the trail very shortly towards you. Arabelle, meanwhile, is smiling and waving at everybody like the queen in her finest carriage, and proper regal wave as she goes along, and but she says out of the side of her mouth up at Sylvia, "I'll make sure my father awards everybody but you."
We'll make it work.
I don't give two shits. Have fun.
She starts running ahead as she sees her father, Luvash, and Aragol come running down the path towards her. And she runs up towards them. "Papa! Papa!"
I thought Aragol was Arabelle's father.
He's her
uncle.
uncle.
Oh, okay.
And what will you say or do as they come down to meet you? Luvash runs out and grabs her up in his arms. "Arabelle, where have you been?"
I'm just gonna cough like in a potato sack. Cough.
Does anyone even say or even mention anything about, Durak dragging the corpse of a guy that was with them?
You get a lot of very strange stares, and as usual, they keep their distance from you, but they're waiting to find out. For all they know, he may have had something to do with Arabelle's death or kidnapping, and his death may be because of that. So they are keeping their tongues for now, waiting to see what the explanation is. But you are getting some very definite raised eyebrows as they look at this large man being dragged behind. Some of them actually knew him, so you'll get double stared.
All right.
I'm gonna slip back towards Victor and go, I am not about to be bullied by a midget.
Child. She's not a midget. She's a child.
Midget.
She's a child.
Tiny human midget.
No, she's a child.
Same difference.
Sure about that? I mean, maybe she's a midget. She's just
She's
like,
a
done up to
changeling.
look like a child.
Why would she call a taller person Papa? She's a child, not a midget.
If I was a midget, that's what I would do.
I would be taking the lead. Vlad, rather, would be taking the lead here, except I don't entirely know what's going on, so I'm going to leave it to the people who are here for this session.
Lavash, we've returned with your daughter.
So I see. I am very glad to have her back, though I will probably tan her hide for running off. What possessed you to run off, child? Papa,
And don't listen to any stories she has about like getting dropped or anything like that. She's just the kind of brat that would make
Alex,
something
shut
like that.
up. I'm gonna
I
punch him in the side of the head.
smack him before he even says anything.
She turns back and says, "Well, I was kidnapped, but yes, I was dropped by one of them, too. But
Well,
at
you
least
kind of
they-
hit
Told
me in
you
the
she would
ear.
get that, huh?
Alex, shut up.
Okay.
They were not the ones that kidnapped me, though. It was a fisherman down by the lake. I was trying to find the man in red, the red one that I told you about."
Durak, looks up. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I just thought of something. Here's his head. Does this man look familiar?"
So it's confirmed that the fisherman was not the red-cloaked man?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no red cloak anywhere on him, so we figured that's pretty much the case. But yeah, Derek's asking the two men, the father and the uncle, if they recognize the head.
They both shake their heads. No, that it looks like one of the Valakians, but I don't think I've ever really met him. Maybe I saw him at a distance. I don't know. Arabelle looks down at Arabelle and raises an eyebrow, and he says, "Just because you had a vision was no reason to go running off. It is probably nothing. You should not have done that."
What vision?
She looks back and puts her hands on her hips, very defiantly, kind of. Her father tries to shush her. He says, "Shush! Don't bother the strangers with such garbage." And she says, "I had a vision. I am a seer. I am a seer like my great-grandmother."
What did you see, little one?
"I saw my uncle. He was the new ruler of Barovia." And she grins and straightens her back like she's a queen again. "We are going to be famous."
By any chance, is your grandmother Madame Eva?
"Yes, you have met her?"
We have not 2 days past.
Well, perhaps
It's
a
been
little bit more.
longer.
It's been more like a week, but yes.
Yeah.
We
Slight
actually,
exaggeration.
for all of the sessions, we have not been in Barovia for more than 3 days.
No, it's been at least a week, dude. Travel time.
You were in Valaki for 3 days, so. But yeah, she just flips her hair like I'm going to be a princess. And Arabelle just shushes her and pushes her behind him and says, "Forget you heard that. It is absolute garbage. She does not know what she's talking about. She is just a child." They grab her by the arm and start like frog marching her up towards the camp very quickly.
Vlad follows behind.
I'm just gonna look at the uncle and go, whether she's true or not, if she does have a gift, you probably should nurture and teach her rather than not. Because if that is true and she does have a gift, it could be useful to you one day. And then Sylvia just leaves it at that.
Did you say that you say to Aragol or to Luvash?
Yes, Arabelle.
Aragol. She talked to the uncle, not the father.
Very good. Aragol just kind of lifts his eyebrow at you and he says, "I don't know that we would be better off having her like Madame Eva, but she definitely has something, but it is ridiculous, these dreams that she has."
Never
Oh,
knowing.
so
By this time, you've arrived up at the camp through the piles of now gathering horse dung, because there's about 30 horses in camp now, or more. There's probably about 24 wagon horses, draft horses in camp, and now all the returning ones that were riding horses. The elves have moved off towards their various houses. Again, you notice there's one white-haired elf among them, but he stays well out of sight and doesn't make himself very noticed. He just moves in and out of the other elves occasionally. And Luvash, as you get up to the top of the hill, he turns to you and he says, I suppose you have a reward coming. I must reward you for bringing back my daughter. And he says, I must find out first, though. I must find out one thing from her. And he has her by the arm, and he kind of half shakes her. And he says, what do you know about the elder leaf that was in that wine? And she looks up at him with the most innocent eyes. You're welcome to roll an insight check if you want. It's a very low roll.
Damn it.
Alex is immediately suspicious.
This is a great start to the night.
Can I just
Two
have advantage? I
natural
don't trust
ones.
this. I don't trust this kid at all. Oh God! Thank God, Victor. Thank God.
2 natural ones.
Snake eyes.
Victor takes one look at her and nearly feels like he wants to break out laughing. She is obviously
Alex does believe her.
guilty
Victor is not that
of
good
something.
at social subtleties. He does start laughing.
She glares over at you because you're blowing her cover, but the rest of you, in spite of the fact it doesn't take much to see through her, are so taken by the fact that she's a rather attractive young child, you seem to buy into it.
Can I not? Because I don't like this
Sylvia-
kid.
Sylvia suspects her even if she was telling the truth.
Yeah. It's like I don't like this kid at this point. She hit me.
And
Vlad
Why would a child lie?
Vlad takes out one one of the 3. Okay, I just noticed I rolled 2 nat ones and I still rolled on par or higher than the rest of the party, with the exception of Victor.
Hey.
Anyway, Vlad takes out one of the 3. Hi, dog. One of the 3 elder leaves, and hands it to what was his name? Lelouch?
Luvash.
Luvash. That's what it is. Hands one of the leaves to Luvash. Says, I have been gathering herbs to use for some of my bandages. While I was gathering them, I found these leaves. I believe this is one of the elder leaf trees. What is it?
Elder leaf.
Elder leaf.
Elder
yeah.
leaf leaves.
Off an
The
elder
elder
tree.
leaf.
The leaf of an elder tree called an elder leaf.
An elder leaf. The elder wand.
The elder leaf leaves.
The elder leaf. I believe this is an elder tree leaf.
She just starts suddenly noticing some people over on the other side of the tent, and Arabelle starts waving at them and doing various things to look like she has no idea what you're talking about. Her father, however, takes the leaf from Vlad and pulls her back and shakes it in her. Did not our wise woman show you how to brew this just a week ago? I don't know what you're talking about, Papa.
Tend the child.
Lies. Vlad says, on that note, for payment, money would be nice. However, there are some other things we may require instead. Madam Eva, her grandmother, when we went to see her, she told us of several things we may need on our journey. Have we told them about what we're after yet?
Nope.
No.
Oh, okay. We were told about several things we may need on our journeys in Barovia. One of them, and he nods at Arangol. Aragol? Aragol. He nods at Aragol, is his assistance.
Madam Eva said this. Why would she? You are dangerous to us. You fight the Lord of Barovia, yes?
We fight for
Yes.
you. We have just risked our own lives and saved your daughter.
This I am grateful
We are
for,
not that dangerous, Derek says, still holding Strasny's body.
And the head.
And the head on his belt, yep.
why would she tell you that we would help you against Strahd?
We know not. I I don't
Just the
think
hint you
it is.
gave us.
I don't think it is for any of us to know her true motives.
Yeah, she runs the
I mean,
narrow edge of the blade, and she will have her neck slashed one of these days.
Regardless, there is an undoubtable air of power around her. She has seen something about us and our journeys, and she has
I mean,
seen that your brother here can be of assistance to us.
look, all that aside, we did sort of do you a favor and did something that your men couldn't do, which was find the little girl. So kind of owe us a little bit more than just a reward. Just saying.
As I said,
We-
money would be nice, but the assistance of your brother would be even more valuable.
Arabelle, tell them who your master is. And Arabelle kind of lays his finger on the side of his nose like he's thinking, and he says, come with me. Let us discuss this a bit in private, shall we? And he motions towards those of you that might want to go join and talk with him. Who's going to go off with Aragorn?
Vlad will
Victor
go
would
with. Vlad will go, but before he does, he turns back to the father and says, "Also, if it is possible, I would like to learn how to brew these elder tree leaf. I feel it may be of some, not may, it will be of much use to us.
You want to put Derek to sleep. That's what it is.
His
If we
entire
need to.
reason.
If we need to."
I don't know. I
Well,
think I can
luckily,
manage
Derek's here to know that he's got that kind of thinking going on. He's not going to trust you with any kind of liquids now.
It's, well, even, I don't know if, one, I don't know if Derek's that smart, but two, it's more, it could be useful for my bandages. I'm always looking to improve my bandages.
By the
yeah,
way,
because
at
we need to sleep
OOC
when you put
aside,
bandages on.
OOC aside, I noticed a comment in chat that I will respond to. I dream of going to GaryCon one of these days. I really do. I'm kind of glad I didn't go to this one because there's about 8 inches of snow on the ground. But anyway, yes, I dream of that. I apparently had a wonderful weekend and I wish I was there. Anyway, back to Derek being put to sleep, and Luvash says, all right, I will have one of the wise women show you the formula. That is fine. And he motions, he just kind of like flips his hand towards Aragorn, like, take them out before I get very upset.
And so we go with Aragorn.
I don't know if Derek should. Kind of
I
have an
mean,
idea of
Can
what's
I
going
roll
to
a
happen.
perception? Can I
Vlad
roll a
is going with
perception check?
Aragorn.
Can I roll a perception check on the camp in general to see if what the overall feel
I think
like if
that would
anyone's
be
making
insight.
movements?
That
Yes,
will do the same.
go ahead.
So is it perception or is it insight?
Ah, damn it.
No, this would be perception because you would be noticing a general overall thing, not a person's
At least
attitudes.
you got better.
There is a kind of a tension, but all of this conversation has been reasonably low in volume, and not the entire camp has heard it. Those who are standing around are reading Luvash's tension regarding your comments, and you can see them tensing up just a bit. The ones further away are going about their business and appear not to have overheard the conversation.
All right, then Vlad will. Did Sylvia know this, or was the only Vlad notice?
Sylvia would probably notice more that the camp at large is not on alert. She might not pick up on the fact that some of the people around her are tensing up.
I'm gonna slap Veth on the shoulder and I was like, you really gotta work on your motivational speaking and just follow after Aragorn.
Arabelle takes you a fair distance away and behind some of the wagons, and he says, I have much to say on this, but first I want to hear more of what you were saying about this. Arabelle's, her vision spoke of a time of Strahd's fall and that others would take his powers. I will speak no more to this and what she saw, but I am interested. I do not wish to be on the wrong side if he falls.
When we went to see Madame Eva, she informed us. Let me try that sentence again. She informed us of several things that the devil does not want the general population to know.
And you seek
My
to
question. Sorry,
bring
go ahead.
him down? You seek to end his reign?
We seek to leave Barovia. However, that is, we were brought here by him, and our departure is not possible until he either allows us to leave or we force our way out.
This is true. Even if the Vistani took you, they could not do it without his permission. You. It is interesting that you appear just after she had this vision. She said there would be strangers that would arrive that would end the time of Strahd, and that I needed to be, how shall we say, I needed to be positioned for such a time. It is interesting that you mentioned Madame Eva. Yes, we are descended from her line, but she has very long life, let us say, and we call her great-grandmother, but she sees many things. Perhaps she sees what Arabelle sees. I will consider that for now I will lend you the benefit of the doubt, and when you seek to go up to his castle, inform me of such. For now I will tell Luvash that I have refused you, but I will aid you to a certain degree if you go up there, and if he falls, I have actions I must take. Be careful. Also, I will tell you that she saw this red-robed man in her dreams and said that he as well is part of the fall of Strahd. I do not know that I believe that either, but we shall see. That is why she ran off, I think. She looked at me when she came up, and I knew what she had done.
When we spoke to Madame Eva, she said that you were the horseman, and that your aid would be required. I will tell you one thing more before I continue. And Vlad moves forward to whisper something into his ear, like grab the back of his head, put it on his shoulder, and then whisper something in his ear.
Okay.
I send it to you in Discord.
Yes, I saw it.
With this information, know that what we have said is much more important.
He raised an eyebrow so far it almost went up into his dark hair, and he said, "How very interesting, cousin."
And Epotus, who none of us have heard of any sort of thing, because we don't know that you're actually from here, do we?
You were in. If any of you were in Madame Eva's presence when she said when we were all getting our readings, she said that I
He
was a
was
son
from
of Barovia.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I think we
I think
know.
Duroc is the only one who wasn't in the
Okay.
No, I
thing at the
I
time.
went in. I went in at like the absolute last moment.
Did you? I thought I remembered you coming in after most of our readings were already done.
Oh, maybe that was the case. I knew I was in there for a reading. I didn't know if I was in.
Regardless, you could have easily asked one of the party or found out from them that Vlad is from Barovia originally.
Derek wouldn't care as long as you're not.
Exactly.
Oh, as long as you're not a child of Strahd.
Exactly.
I don't like the pause that you gave me.
So we're talking. So we're talking to Lavash, right?
No, we're talking to Aragol.
Aragol.
I keep missing up which one is which.
Vlad
Luvash is the dad. Aragol is the leader, but the brother.
Aragol is the horseman Madame Eva told us about.
And
She,
Luvash motioned Aragol off, expecting he would write you off and tell you where to get off to and send you out of camp. But Aragol instead has listened to what you've said with some interest.
Aragol. What we plan to do is essentially bring some measure of calm back to Barovia. While we do wish to leave, I would be remiss in my duties. And he taps his shield with the sun symbol on it. If I did not try to leave Barovia in a better place than when I arrived. So, if there is anything that we are going to do with regards to the devil, and any help that you can give to us in order to do that, we would be appreciative. But I understand that you need to keep up appearances for the time being. So,
go ahead. Sorry.
So, when we leave here, I invite you to make a good show of it as possible.
Before we do go, there is some aid you can give us immediately. When we spoke to Madame Eva, she told us she used tarot cards and placed 5 out. One of which was the horseman. We have discovered that you are he. We seek also the conjurer, the philanthropist, the healer, and the broken one. I do not expect you to know what this means on your own. However, the places we seek, we do not know of. We need
Yes, we do.
your knowledge. Let me finish. We need your knowledge of the land. The philanthropist we are supposed to find where children once cried. Great powers where sickness and madness spread, where children once cried. The conjurer can be found in a dead village drowned by a river, ruled by one who brought great evil.
He kind of jumps at that, kind of looks startled.
The healer. She said only we could fight him in the west, near a pool blessed by light of white sun.
He glares at that one.
The broken one lurks hidden. He's a creature of darkness and immortality. We know the broken one already. We have found you, the horseman. If you can help us in any way to expedite our ventures, that would be greatly appreciated.
I am not a seer, and to help you this much directly would probably be very dangerous for what I plan. I do not wish to be this obvious, but I will tell you, seek the white sun in Kresk.
Yeah, in Kresk, you said?
In Kresk. Yes, this is the village.
Which direction would that be?
It is to the west. It is the farthest village to the west in Barovia. I believe you
Good.
will find much of what you look for there. I will say no more, save that, and he spits on the ground. This white sun is an abomination to what I stand for.
And what do you stand for?
He looks you up and down very carefully. I stand
And he looks back.
for the Vistani, and I will not be ashamed of it. I will see to it the Vistani survive.
I want to check his resolve on that.
Very good.
We mean neither.
I'm good at this.
You have one job.
I have one job, and it apparently doesn't come up that often.
Yeah.
Can I
You
help
know,
with the
in a
insight?
place filled with undead and vampires, we actually don't do that much fighting.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Anyway,
I mean, that's
Um,
probably the wise decision, to be perfectly honest.
You've been
Yeah,
stumbling
it is.
into more fights than you've been seeking, but yeah. What Efotis can tell with that is not a great deal. You can tell that the statement on the surface is probably true.
we seek you and your people no harm.
And Epotus comes in and says, unless they stand between us and the devil.
This is also valid.
Tell me no
'Cause
more
while
of
you-
this. I will help you no more. No more until the day you go to the castle. I am not going to slit my own throat for you.
Vlad bows and says, your aid has been more than we were expecting already. We will be on our way. Tell your brother that. Tell him what you wish. If it will appease your people, tell him that you told us you will find that we will find no help. We will be on our way. Thank you again.
He looks at Vlad one last time and he says, in the interest of what you have told me, I will tell you the village in the other statement, the drowned village. You will find that south along the river. And with
More
that, he
aid, still more
pivots
greatly
on his
appreciated.
heel very rapidly and almost storms away from you.
Vlad turns to the rest of the group and says, we know generally where 2 of the 3 locations we need to go are. I say we wrap up business with Valakia as soon as possible and go after that.
First things first, we gotta keep the people enamored to you. After all, they remember we were supposed to try and get these guys away from the town.
Oh, right. I forgot this
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Were we?
We were supposed to try to
Yes.
convince the
Well,
Vistani.
so here's what we do. And okay, so Arabelle is the leader, and the brother is just, or is the brother the leader?
I think the brother is the father of the Arabelle.
Arabelle is the leader.
Arabelle is the leader?
DM, which one's the leader?
It's a pretty much a co-leadership position, but Arabelle is
Okay.
slightly the
Yeah,
higher
we're
rank.
both right.
He's slightly more leader than
Okay,
the other.
so
Like it's similar to you and I in the Dawnwatch.
okay, so Epotus looks at him and says, "You will help us no more in this particular matter, but perhaps there's something in regards to repayment
I mean, we'd have to catch up with him. He's walking off at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Epotus is just
he's not
talking to a wall.
Yeah, he's not having a conversation. He's turned up, but you can.
Dude, he's
Luvash
practicing
has-
before he goes out to actually say it.
Luvash has
Okay, so-
promised you a reward for Arabelle.
Yep.
So you
So,
can use that
let's
as
seek
a
out
reason
Luvash.
to go
Yeah.
back.
Vlad's going back anyway. He has to learn the secret belief tea.
Yeah.
Secrets of
Sylvia's-
tea.
Sylvia's going to slide up to a POTUS and go, "We know we're supposed to convince them to move away, but we need to convince them that the less they are seen by the townspeople, the less chance that the townspeople are going to do something stupid like kidnap the kid."
There is
Yeah.
obvious bad blood between Vallaki and the Vistani. The farther
if they
they
can
are
move-
away from each other, the
Yeah.
safer each of them are.
Exactly, but we got to convince them
Then
not to
let's-
be
then
dicks and
let's-
then go into the town because it's our town.
Then let's find Luvash and we'll talk to him. I believe
Luvash
we
still
will
owes us a
begin-
reward.
Yeah, whatever.
really
You guys go
trying
collect.
to
I'm gonna
use
go
this
check out the weird
overlord.
elves.
You know, I've kept myself quiet for the most part because all things political don't tend to work well with me. Or rather, I
Yeah,
don't
you
tend
know-
to work well with all things political. But I will state this, maybe try and pitch it like they're a bunch of racists, and rather than try and stir up shit, you could just, avoid the racists. Pin it more as a warning than as a,
Alex,
their
Alex,
reward for us. Hey,
Alex, Alex. I
am I
don't.
wrong?
I don't think these people care. They like making people pissed off at them.
Yeah,
They'll
but-
do things. They'll do things and stir up shit because they can.
Do they? Are they really
Look,
going
look,
to be the type that would actually cause themselves more
Yes.
trouble?
Yes,
You
they are.
make
Yeah.
you make
Did you
worse
forget how we got here?
vocal. You make worse vocal choices than I do on a daily basis. So do this group a favor. Sip it.
In any
That's
case,
why I've been stepping, keeping quiet.
Yeah,
It-
didn't work before. Keep it.
Aragol seeks to keep his people safe.
Exactly.
If we can convince him and Luvash that them being close to Vallaki is a danger for everyone, primarily for their own people, it would be more. I believe they would be more willing to move. He puts one gauntleted hand on Sylvia's shoulder. It's kind of like poof because of the weight and her small frame. He says, "I will leave this to you. You have a way with words that few other people do that I have seen."
Except for one small thing. Daddy's precious little angel doesn't like me and I don't like her.
This is also true.
You have to make a character with that voice.
No
Yeah.
way.
She's got.
You're
I'm going to
just
make her
rid
into
of
a
a
guest star that's Arabelle. She's going to play Arabelle.
In any case, it is time we go back and speak to Luvash.
I can mockingly do that voice for a while, but damn it, I get annoyed hearing myself do it.
Sylvia takes out the Strahd puppet and makes it talk in Arabelle's voice.
Diddy's little girl.
Yeah.
All right, Luvash is talking with some Vistani when you get up to the top. Various men. He's gesturing and just giving camp orders in general. Arabelle is seated on the top of a cart that has a keg, an actual keg on it, and she's seated on it like she's on a horse. And some of the women are like bringing her food and doing things as she's sitting there.
As
I'm
they
just gonna hang towards the back because it's like the less she sees me, the better.
yeah, it's not great when the party face is disliked.
I'm not the party face. That's the problem.
You're the bard.
I'm not the party's face.
You're the party's face, dude.
Darrock is the
I
party's
am.
face.
I have no
Alex
charisma.
is the
This is
party.
a terrible.
And a
You're-
beautiful
you're the one-
face it is too, dear.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're the one who does all the talking.
I do the talking because no one else. Anyway,
Okay, fine.
have a
you,
plus
want to do
one.
it? You want to do it?
let's. I
Let's
will
do
do
this.
it. Yes, let's go.
Y'all don't like
Let's-
his plans.
Vlad walks up to Luvash. Argal has informed us of the situation. We apologize for imposing. We realize now that there is no opposing the devil.
This is good.
However, there
that
is
he's
still the
explained it.
and we seek to do your people no harm. In fact, quite the opposite. The less blood that is spilled on Barovian soil, the better for everyone here. Speaking of which, there is still the matter of our reward. As I said before, money is nice, but there is another matter. The proximity between you and the people of Valaki is dangerous.
His eyes narrow, but he's listening.
There is obvious bad blood between the Vistani and the people of Valaki. I believe that if you remain in this proximity, there will be incidents that will turn into more and more bloodshed. I say this out of concern for my own brethren. Sorry, talking like that takes a bit of effort. I say this out of concern for my own brethren. Please, convince the Vistani to move at least a little bit farther away. I wish no more blood to be spilled.
I hear you, and I know that the people of Valaki are fools. I do not see the answer when it sits right on their doorstep. But we have been here a while. We have had our fun. And obviously, they are going to come out and grab our children from our own doorstep
Whoa,
here.
whoa. Okay. I said I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm
POTUS,
being.
now this time POTUS holds his hand in front of Sylvia. He just shakes his head. He just shakes his head, and he leans down and he kind of hisses and just says, "This is centuries of bad blood. You're not going to change his mind.
I don't have to change. Well, I could change it.
You
but
want
that's
to
beside the point.
change. You want to change his mind. It's not going to happen. So let's just get him to agree, and then we'll go."
Meanwhile, Derek just kind of laughs at the mention of the Valakians are fools, and then kind of looks at Strasny's body. Right about that.
The people of Valaki are clearly fools. Not 1 day ago. Was it yesterday? The entire festival thing?
I think
Actually,
think it was yesterday.
I think that was the previous night.
I think it was a
Did
day and a
the
half
party
ago.
spend
You
the night
spent it.
here?
I believe you spent a day involved in the house in Bachtar House, getting the headquarters set up and all the things.
Yeah.
You wound up with no
festival-
sleep, but that didn't. It was more than a day.
Okay.
Regardless, even just recently, they have been fighting amongst themselves. They are foolish indeed. It would be much safer for everyone, your people particularly, if you were to move on. Besides, is it not true that the Vistani enjoy the freedom of movement?
Oh, we do. We come and go as we wish. And right now, we have been wishing to sit on Valaki's doorstep. And he points at the wherever Dirok's standing, near or far, and points at the head. And he says, "But they send their people to grab our daughters."
I'm just gonna give a POTUS this look, just like, can I, please?
Well, the
As
thing
I-
is,
Alex is
they
going
did mention that the head looks like a
No.
Valakian fisher.
As I
No.
moved, as I said, the more space there is between you and the people of Valaki, the less incidents there will be.
He nods.
If
but
we were not here to
continues
save your
glare at the
daughter,
head.
she may very well be dead.
This is true.
Will you move on?
We will not rush, but we will move on, yes.
Vlad gives a little half bow and says, "Then consider our debt paid."
I will
Would like
still
something to drink, but
give you one
No.
reward. I do not wish you coming back later and saying, we have not paid you for our young. Come. And he motions towards
that
Arabelle,
sounded wrong.
and Arabelle joins him, and he says, we will let him pick from the real things in the wagon. Arabelle pulls a key out on a necklace, and Luvash does the same. And they move to one of the Vardo, I think the wagons are called, moves to one of the Vardos, and the one that has heavy chains locking the door and 2 padlocks on it, and they each unlock 1 padlock. And they open the door, and you can see the wagon is piled with treasure.
You have amassed quite a stockpile.
We live well when we wish to, and when a village will let us spend it. And he motions to a series of chests, and from 1, 2, 3, 4 chests that I'll describe, and then a couple of other items, he says you can pick one of them. One of them is a wooden chest that is probably about the size of a small locker, maybe 1.5 feet long by a little bit less than a foot in depth, and same.
So like high school lockers.
No, not like the big tall locker.
Like a Foot Locker.
Oh.
Like a small Foot Locker kind of thing. One of them is
Okay.
a fairly large iron chest, maybe 2 feet in length and equal kinds of proportions. There's a tiny jewelry box, a small wooden box about the size of a shoebox. He kicks that aside and says, don't take that. I sell those fake potions to the gullible. And then he motions to 2 other items. There's a throne, a full-fledged throne with a lot of gold inlay on it, and a rolled-up rug. It's like kind of a Persian rug sort of thing.
What are the chances that's a flying carpet?
Probably pretty low.
Probably pretty low.
Why don't we take the throne? That could be a flying throne.
It's
Hey,
It's a little difficult to carry.
Vlad. Uh-oh. Am I
Uh-oh.
still audible?
I hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, we just lost
we just lost
Dragon.
Oppo died.
Hippos.
I'm of 2 minds of this for you, Vlad. I
Hmm.
say go for the least likely thing, because they could be doing mind tricks to say, oh yeah, go for the expensive looking thing, because that's going to be the most worthy thing, when the smaller ones could probably be worth more. But then I'm like, wait, they could be thinking that and then try to screw with us, and that
But
the
they
big
may
thing
know
actually
that
is
I'm
the most.
thinking that, and
Yeah,
therefore
that's
they know that I
what I
know
was
that
just
they're
gonna
thinking
say.
Very
Is
much
that
so.
they, so
Vlad,
like I have no
Vlad-
idea what to go with.
Vlad turns to Aragorn and says, may we look inside the chest before we
No,
take...
you will pick a chest
Storage
rug
Wars
or
D&D
the throne.
edition.
What's in the box? How much is what's
Yes.
in the box for?
What is in the 2 chests?
I've got a very dumb question. Alex says this almost without even raising his voice loud enough for anyone really to hear. Can I shake the box?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can we at least make sure that there is something inside? Can we rattle it?
Levi says, I will not allow you to shake it. I will not allow you to open it. But I will tell you,
Okay.
each of the boxes, except the garbage wooden one with the fake potions, each of these will be decent reward for saving Arabelle. I will not cheat you on this. If I wanted to cheat you, I would have given you the wooden box. You may pick
We have no
one of
doubt that
these.
you would not cheat us.
Does anyone have detect
Yeah.
magic prepared?
Yeah, that would be the great idea. Don't cheat Derok, the guy that has a head and a dead body with him.
I don't have anything that can.
I have detect magic, but it's not ready.
Alex is gonna
Okay.
take a second and
Let me see.
try
Oh my
and
God.
perceive what with insight and whatnot that if this guy is really actually lying about the garbage box.
Can we
And
also?
doing okay.
You
Can we
feel
also
a
roll?
sense of yeah. Anybody who wants to try insight can at any time.
I heard D. I hear D, so I'm thinking that I hear a sense of deception, and I don't hear it, unfortunately.
Detect
I am-
magic
That's like
could
the third
be-
11 you've rolled.
I am Epotus, the Lord of Elevensies.
The Lord of Elevens.
Hey, you roll better than
Those
me,
of you
so
that watch
I
a
want to
Critical
make-
Role, they've become the Mighty Nine because of all their 9 rolls.
I want to pilot a character who is his entire voice is this. Yeah, see?
Please,
You would
please don't.
hate it.
yeah,
You would hate it so fast.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah, maybe it's
Jason.
17.
And Sylvia.
detect magic can be ritual cast, so we have that.
Yeah, but I
option.
don't think he's gonna let us sit here for 10 minutes.
Alex
Anyways, yes,
and Sylvia
Jason?
have can tell by his voice there's a lot of determination in his voice, and he is quite. You feel the determination is aimed at seeing to it that his debt is paid. He is determined to see to it his debt is paid.
So Victor will ask, do you mind if I take a few minutes to examine the chests without touching them?
You will choose. Choose a chest. Otherwise, I will lock the wagon.
We'll take this one, and he touches the left one.
I was about to say Vlad chooses the wooden one.
Okay. You can roll a give me a 1d3 roll, which you can do if you type it in chat.
Or 1d6.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Why'd I
1,
roll
2,
this?
3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, that.
Why did I roll this?
Because that would tell me which one you picked out of the 3. That would.
Oh
be...
no, I was going for the wooden chest.
Okay. Because Hippotus had already touched one and said, I'm taking the left one, and I was going to find out which one the left one was. He was the first one that spoke.
Yeah, Victor would
But
object to the
Vlad was the one talking.
Ugh,
I'd argue.
took too long.
Oh, Epotus made the decision, damn it.
He picks up the Opotus has grabbed the onyx jewelry box. The jewelry
God damn it,
box.
Apo.
The jewelry box looks like it is made out of real onyx. It is one of the few chests here that look like the chest itself may be worth something, and it has a lot of gold filigree on the outside. Those of you with any market experience would probably estimate you probably could sell this to somebody for probably about 250 gold. Whatever is inside of it, you certainly know that the box itself is worth.
Oh, I thought this was the fake potion box.
No.
Not buying the fake potion box unless we're planning on becoming fake potion sellers.
Yeah, he was explicitly not offering us the fake
That
potion
box.
box.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
why I thought. Okay.
Yeah, that's the
So-
one you were
Bob, pay
trying to
attention.
take.
I'm not that impulsive. Jesus.
Sylvia's just gonna like stare at the box like that is.
So
Yeah,
Apotus picks up this box.
Epotus picked up the box that looks like, well, if nothing else, we could at least get something for the box.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good logical decision in that regard as well. And as you step away, are you going to open it, or are you going to open it after you leave?
I'm just
the
gonna open it right here, man.
When you open
I'm
it,
going to open it while he can see me.
you can see 6 pieces of jewelry inside it. They have rather gaudy stones in them. You also see one potion bottle, and you see there's a what am I trying to say? The carved crystal, beveled crystal carved with something, a very fancy vial that's cut crystal that looks like it might be rather valuable in and of itself. It's an empty crystal vial made of rather valuable looking crystal and a filled potion bottle and 6 pieces of rather gaudy looking jewelry. And
I'm
Blue
going to,
Vise immediately closes the doors, and the pair of them lock the locks again.
The jewelry, does it seem magical in any way, or is it just rings?
How are you telling?
Do I sense an arcane energy coming from them?
Does
Are
it
you
feel
doing detect
strangely
magic?
warm or possibly glow?
Do what?
Are you even holding it?
It's still in the box.
It's Apo, but Apo just DC'd again.
Yeah,
I mean, Vlad
his
would
voice
pick
is
up one
hearing
of the
you.
rings and examine it.
Just his video keeps.
You said pieces
popping
of
up.
jewelry. Were they actually rings?
No,
there were
there's no rings. These are large, like pendant. It looks like a couple of them have like inch high gems in them that might be semi-precious gems. You can't tell. They're oval gems in them, and there's a couple of bracelets. No rings.
so Vlad, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna. Did Apple make it back?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I think.
I'm gonna like poke / gently shake Potus's arm. Sorry, Freddy had slipped there. And go. Can I have the jewelry pieces when we leave the camp, please? I have an idea with them.
Actually,
Fairly
you
Just,
could.
just like she had the idea with the sword.
And Epotus says normally, in a normal voice, we can talk about that when we're no longer in the camp. And Epotus puts the box in his own pack.
Oh, is the father still here?
Yeah, he's
locking
locking
up
up the
the
wagon,
chest.
but he's within hearing range.
Okay, because I forgot. Yeah, speaking of jewelry, Derek takes off the necklace that he gave him for us to identify us that we're friends for Arabelle, in
So
case she didn't trust us.
I missed what was in the box entirely.
The box has a potion, an empty crystal vial, and a couple pieces of gaudy jewelry. 6 to be exact.
Yeah, 6 pieces of very flashy jewelry, a filled potion bottle, and a fancy cut crystal vial.
Okay, so
Okay, does the jewelry look like, it has some sort of like? Could I get a sense of how valuable they would be?
Anybody who wants to look over his shoulder, or POTUS, or anybody, give me an investigation check into, let's see how well you know jewelry.
woo!
Well, let's take a try at that.
That's what
This
happens
is
when
The
you have one
bard
job.
knows. The bard knows.
She's just like they're worth nothing.
Here, what is it? Investigation?
Yeah.
Alright, I tried. I only have one job too. Roll
Basically,
2.
These are pretty
basically,
much correct rolls. Sylvia would know. Okay, Sylvia looks over
Okay.
and she would whisper at POTUS, "Yeah, you might be able to sell them for 50 gold apiece."
Yeah,
Alex
no,
is thinking they were much more valuable.
she would be honest about the price for the POTUS at this point, but her way of viewing everything was basically just jumping up and down because she is way shorter than him anyway. All that 5'4".
She's like gotta climb up the back of him and like peer over like a spider.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
she basically can tell they're only marginally precious stones. They're a lot more gaud than they are real, but that you could probably get a little bit for them. The vial, however, she recognizes could be worth probably half as much as the box itself.
So Vlad, once the doors are shut and locked, says, "I believe we were talking about you having the wise women teach me how to make the tea.
Ah, yes, and he motions one of the women over that are talking to Arabelle and gives her instructions. This one, he wants to learn the potion that you taught Arabelle, the one that she used to get out of this camp. You will be careful what you teach her in the future, yes? And you will teach to this one now. And he also nods at Dirok as Dirok hands him the pendant that he was trying to hand him. Thank you for returning this. And again, in spite of what you are planning, I thank you for returning my daughter.
You would do well to teach her how to properly strike at things.
Back
She
of
wasn't-
one's head.
When she was attacking
And
the body of her kidnapper, she was
Backhand
good
Alex
in poor
in,
form.
in a stretch.
I will consider doing this. It is shameful to me that she does not know how to punch.
She used a stick, but she wielded it very weirdly.
It was an oar.
You know, I heard a
And-
story once of someone with an oar killing 3 famed swordsmen.
Either way, she wielded a weapon and it was not a proper form. Her size should not matter if she's going to fight.
I will take this to heart. Vistani should know how to fight, and I will see to it that she learns better. She should not just learn from these women who have taught her these stupid things.
He's got
If
a
she-
stick so far up his butt.
If she ever wants to learn from an orc, Derek would be honored to teach her.
I am impressed, my friend. Perhaps I will take you up
I can
on
see
that
the
when you
vein
come back.
popping in Sylvia's forehead.
I couldn't hear that. I was impressed. Or what?
I'm impressed. Perhaps when we meet up again, I will ask you to do that. In the meantime, I will have some of the Vistani teach you.
And Derek just salutes and bows. That is how you be.
Okay.
Teach your daughters how to fight.
I'm just going to slowly look over at Darok and go, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Under her breath, like at the softest, like there's no words. It's just pretty much mouth movement.
I want to see if I can hear that. Would that be perception?
No.
Nope.
I'm off the screen. Nope. Okay. All right.
And you have to realize that
I don't.
we have an elf who is very insulted by the fact that Vistana whacked her over the ear, and then we have an orc who's like, "Yeah, you go, kid. I'll teach you how to do it better next time." Somehow or other, that's about right.
Yep.
In any case, does Vlad at some point learn the recipe for making this tea?
Yes, and you would be able. We'll figure out from that list of ingredients that we've got on the side. We'll figure out how long it would take you with proper ingredients and how many of them you need. So we'll need to look at that so I can get an idea.
I also realized. Sorry, I also realized. Oops, because she came back in the camp carrying the kid, she didn't bother to re-hide that she was a half elf. And
Is
she walked
that
past.
At the time
Just
that
when she was-
Arabelle whacked you, I assumed you had your hood up. I said she whacked you through the hood. Did it drop down?
Oh
or
no,
something?
no, I never specified if I got myself gussied up to hide what I was. So I actually came back in camp without being in disguise.
They probably wouldn't even blink outside of the fact they might kind of look at you in a comparative fashion with the dusk elves at the base of the hill, kind of raising an eyebrow that you look a little bit different than them, but recognizing that you are elven and probably related to something to do with them.
It's more sort of like I don't care if it's the Visanis who sees her. It's just pretty much like she doesn't trust the other elves down there, so she's like, I'm gonna hide that from them.
In any case, so we've done everything we needed to here, right?
I believe so.
I don't know. I think we should probably spend 4 more days here.
Let's
No,
not.
let's go get.
Let's go get the wine.
Outside of figuring
Hey,
out
yeah, the
why
wine!
why on earth the fisherman wanted to throw Arabelle in the lake, or Sylvia probably thinks it was because she was a real pill and he was tired of dealing with her and decided to drown her. But that's about the only thing you
I
Oh
mean-
no! Didn't you say to her the last time the elves, the dusk elves told her that some of the local fishermen believe that the lake is cursed by the Vistani, so they probably were trying to kill her to remove the curse. That's my theory.
Oh, I guess Derek probably would have shown the head to the elves as well to see if they recognize the fishermen
the elf
when we.
as you leave, you're doing it. Casimir, the leader.
It would have been either passing through or passing in or passing through back out.
Casimir would have nodded. I know that one. He's a drunkard. He's always down by the lake fishing. He is a drunk.
Not anymore.
Casimir kind of tosses his head and says, "This is true, not anymore."
Know where he came from?
And do you have any idea why he would be trying to kill Arabelle?
I have no idea quite what is in the mind of Valakians. I don't know these days. They think very strangely. I only know that I have seen him in Valaki and that he often goes down to the lake to fish, and usually he is staggering because he's always drunk. He came here earlier and drank a bunch of our wine, and he talked about his troubles and how he hated the Vistani and what they had done, and who knows.
Probably thought the kid murderer was gonna clear the lake, make him a better fisherman. Thought it would be easier if he maybe, I don't know, used bait and stopped drinking, but what can they do?
So, now I think we're done with everything here. We've lost Apo again.
Damn
He'll
his
be
connection.
back. He'll be back. There he is. Now we've lost me. Well, Discord kicked me out too.
You can hear us. If either of you can hear us.
I can.
I can hear us.
I can't hear
you.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, Discord kicked me
Jason,
out.
that's my joke.
I said I can't hear you, Dira.
Or no, Apo. Oh, sorry, I thought it was. I don't know why it was.
We both. got
Anyways,
kicked
Apo,
out.
no, that's my joke.
Yeah. We
I
both
can't hear.
got
I don't
kicked
know.
out.
I don't care whose joke it is. I can't hear you.
Yes.
Joke. Stop it.
In any case, we've done everything we need to in this village, right?
Come on, we got PR campaign to go. We are losing daylight on.
Wait, are we going? Wait, are we going back to Vlakia? I thought we were going to
No.
the wine house first.
We're
We are
going to the
going
wine
to the White
house.
House. We
Okay.
are not turning back until we come back with that booze. You could lose his body and lose a head.
We've
Oh.
already lost Strasny. We didn't even get to the wine house yet.
What? No, we don't. We didn't lose Strasny. I have him.
He still has the corpse. He still has the corpse.
We
Speaking of
lost
which, what are we
something
gonna do with
inside
that?
of him.
Speaking of which, what are we gonna do with that? You can't just drag it around all day.
Says you. I'm
I
an
mean-
orc. I can
I
do
mean-
it.
I
We
mean,
had a convenient sack in a river, but we let that opportunity pass us up.
at this point, I think you're just carrying around a snack for Victor, but who's counting?
I mean, I guess it could work. I didn't think of
Yeah,
that.
Victor can make it go away.
Well, can't you raise the dead? You can make a thrall, right? Make a ghoul.
God.
Victor
can make
has
'em-
some objections to raising a ghoul.
You can do it though, right?
Yes, it's very
Just do it.
possible.
Just do it.
No, I think I have to do it before he's actually dead.
Yeah, you have to. The way it works, you have to kill the thing with your bite.
Well, here, I killed the thing. Now bite it.
That's not how it works.
Jesus Christ.
That's it.
Guys, if we resurrected the head and then he bit it and it died,
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
I
possible.
like the way you think.
I don't think it'd be too useful.
No,
It's
I
just
don't-
like
No,
you
see,
can bowling ball it into some people and have it bite people. That's
I
about
was
it.
gonna say you throw him into formations and he starts chomping ankles.
Okay, first off, he tried to kill you. Second off, I don't really want to bring him back to life because that's just a waste of resources. And two, I'm looking at it and I'm really not sure we should be feeding this to anyone because God, that arm looks nasty.
Yeah, he might be tainted.
Yeah.
Oh,
No need
well,
to-
here,
no need
Darrow
to-
can
no need to
fix it.
poison our
Follow
ally.
my axe.
Definitely hated.
Like,
Don't need to poison our allies.
Darrow can fix it. Grabbing his axe.
Yeah, but it's gonna be in the bloodstream.
But blood stops moving when you're.
We're going to the wine house.
Yeah, we
off
are.
to the White House.
10 off for the wine house. We'll discuss this on the way.
We are
But
discussing
just-
this.
This
Like,
entire conversation has been on the way.
I
Yep.
picture this as the conversation as we are walking.
Yep.
I want to confirm that was what was going on.
Yeah,
That's
no.
exactly what's going on.
I assume that this is conversation not in the middle of a town. We are walking out of the town talking about this.
No, we're just
Oh,
having
no,
this
no,
conversation
we're-
in the middle of a whole bunch of Vistani.
No, we're
Yes,
back.
our vampire buddy.
We're back
here.
in Velaki right now and having this discussion right in front of the guards.
Right.
No,
front of
we're
the
not
barrier.
vlogging.
My
Will you
son
be
has got
leaving the Vistani village by way of the river or by the north to the main road?
Which way is it?
Let's go main road.
Definitely not by the river.
Yeah, because Victor.
One of us would be uncomfortable.
But
It was
yeah, which
probably
way is
actually-
the wine house? Because that's the direction we'd go.
West.
I'd say we stick to the main road because we gotta find out why nothing is passing there. So we could probably find out faster if we stuck to the travel paths and try to go off-road adventure.
Okay, so you are
Let's
on the
stick
main
to
That's
the
my
road.
thinking.
You are on the main road and make sure. Yep. Okay.
I'm on the road again.
So
Do, 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 do.
it takes you probably another 2 hours to get. So you're looking. It's mid-afternoon by the time you've adjusted and done everything that you need to do. Get you some visibility on the road here.
Is that dot the wine house?
No.
Does that dot mean we have to roll initiative?
No. It's a memo to me. You come to an intersection at the dot, however, and you see a very old and broken sign that it's laying kind of pretty much splintered in 4 pieces, laying in the gravel alongside the Y in the road at this point. And you also see a main sign that says to the northwest. The main sign is clear and it reads Kresk and it reads Wizard of Wines. The splintered sign is hard to read.
Well, we're going to the Wizard of Wines.
We're off to see the wizard.
There
Going
a
to the
roll we
Wizard of
can
Wines.
make for the broken part of the sign?
Yeah, you can try to piece it together and give me a perception roll to see if you can tell what it used to say.
Cool.
Hey! Not a bad roll.
Woo! Rolling low all day.
I continue to have one job.
Jirok, his mouth begins to flap.
Oh, hey, you should whisper it to me because Derek can't really read too well.
I know you can, and that's going to play
Alright.
into this. His mouth begins
Yes.
to flap, and he looks at the others, and he looks back down at the sign, and he says, "I'm sorry, I'm going to put words in your mouth in this case."
Nope, not a problem.
He says,
Or even type it to me, I could say it.
Okay, that might be a good idea. Let me give it to you, the whole name here.
So while this is all
I can
going,
even make up a word.
while this is all going down, Sylvia's just looking at the photos and going, "Yeah, so when you guys were whole back at the base or so, I kind of did some good charity-ish work. Well, good work, anyways.
I figured.
Hey,
It's
Yeah.
Durok is trying to read what this says.
Well, I know, and we're going to have our conversation. So in 10 minutes, when you're done, you can tell us what you read.
I grab my axe.
Epotus doesn't grab anything.
Alex
Are
said,
you
hey,
saying
we're not
Durok
insulting
is
you. We
dumb?
couldn't read it.
Durok can see this very fine. It says angry angry vast
It had to be
house.
Duroc that got the high perception roll.
That's what it says. Angry vast house.
Turns out it says Angry Owl's Toy Barn.
I'm gonna sneak over to where Durok's trying to read this side and then read it along with him,
Give me
so
a
he doesn't
perception
notice that I
roll.
moved.
You're sneaking over. Give me a perception roll
Oh, for the reading
for
or
the reading to see if you can figure out
okay?
what the faded stuff is. That
Okay, all right, let's figure.
I'm ready to
Guys,
argue too.
Gods, don't screw with me now. Ah,
Yes.
Nope.
And then
Durok
I
is
point.
the only
I
one.
point to the sign. See, it says angry right there. Can you see it, Sylvia? It says angry right there.
kind of, but this doesn't seem like it should be right.
However
But
angry
it
this house,
is.
however angry and vast this house may be, it is not our objective. Let us go retrieve the wine.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later.
We can ask people in Valaki once we get back.
Did we ever get a map for the region?
We have not gotten a map yet. No.
Oh God, we gotta do that. Or did we kill the map maker at some point?
We killed the coffin. We did not kill the coffin maker. Durok
Oh,
wanted to kill the
yeah.
coffin maker.
Well, no, wait. I wonder if there's a way we
Oh
can.
yeah.
In fact,
Yeah,
I think
people.
didn't
What?
he end up dying in the riot?
No, he's still alive.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
Oh
the
no,
line.
unfortunately. Yeah.
so you continue on to the west,
Yep.
and you
Towards the
come
Wizard
to
of Oz.
another Y, and this one.
But why?
The sign is fairly straightforward. You're able to read it. It points to the west, says Wizards of Wines, points to the west and says Kresk, points to the south and says, I gotta read these, Solenka Pass, and I'll write that in chat in the game.
I think that may be the way to the drowned village,
Drowned village.
he says, nodding to the southern road.
You'll
Yes, the
remember
one
that
that-
he said it was along the river.
Oh, it was along the river. Never mind. 'Cause I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Derek
That's okay,
does.
me neither.
Don't worry,
You
Derek does.
have heard this once. If anybody took notes about what Casimir the elf said when he was telling you about his sister, you have heard about this.
Does any of us ever take notes?
I take notes when I'm here.
I used to.
I take notes when it's relevant to Derek.
I used to, but like I'm sitting here like, okay, would Epotus really bother taking notes?
So basically, what I'm hearing is I used to take notes, but then I got shot in the knee. All right, continuing.
Took an arrow to the knee, and I'm no longer in battle.
You know, back in my day, we used to have adjuncts to do this shit for us.
In any case, let us continue on.
And eventually you come to another one of the large bridges. These bridges are made out of stone. They have big stone arches. They're very large bridges spanning the rivers that you come to. As you stand there, you can see an odd tower on a lake to the north of you. You know nothing about the tower. And as you look at the sign that's at the Y, the sign points off towards the west and says Wizards of Wines. Wizard of Wines. The bridge direction says Kresk.
We're going for the wine.
So, okay, so is that the thing?
The tower? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. See, I was looking at that, I was like, either we're gonna find some creepy skeletal, like, nasty wizard, or we're gonna find Rapunzel, but, that's the point.
It can wait.
And who?
Our quest log is full.
Chick, long hair, blonde, people climb up it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I read it in the book.
She just said chick, long hair, blonde.
Yes, but that.
I don't know why
character.
chickens have long hair, though.
To
Silky.
keep their feathers dry.
I will draw you a picture of a long-haired chicken, Turok. I promise you.
But why would chickens have hair? They have feathers.
Oh, hair, feathers, same difference. It covers the
Well,
body.
to be fair, if there was a chicken like that, maybe that's why it's being kept in a tower.
That is a good point. Are
You're
you
not
still
wrong.
Alex?
I've been replaced by a changeling!
Don't
I
tell him
grab
that
my
he will kill you.
axe.
My
Grab
God,
my axe.
it's Deep Space Nine all over again.
So
I've
you have
been watching a lot of that lately.
finally found the Y that takes you off towards Wizard Wines, and you have found where this village of Kresk that got mentioned a couple of times is.
We didn't.
Kresk is where the Sun Sword is.
Something's there.
One of the thing, yeah. One of the things. I don't know what.
Oh,
It's touched by white sunlight, whatever that means. And the Sword of Sunlight is where the thing touched by white sunlight is. Whatever this white sunlight may be, I don't know. He said it was an abomination, so we're going to find out at some point. But for now, we're going to get drunk.
Well, you're
yes,
gonna get
that's,
Finally.
I'm looking forward to it.
Durock's a half-orc. You're telling me he's not going to go drinking?
Nope.
What?
All the senses, he won't be able to fight properly.
Yeah, don't be racist, dude.
Yeah.
He's a Klingon.
Well, a Klingon would get drunk anyway.
Some Klingons would get drunk. Others have the warrior spirit and would never dull their senses.
No, there's Klingons would do it, and then there's Worf.
Yeah.
And then there's
guess
Lords
I'm
that
thinking
only
of
you
fight
guys-
drunk.
And you guys make my story sound weird. I mean, Klingons, what is that? Like something
What
that's
is a
stuck
Klingon?
back of a cat's butt?
No,
It's a
it's
subspecies of orc.
No, it's everybody's children.
Durok
It's
has never
everybody's
heard of a
kids.
Klingon.
No, it's everybody's kids.
I thought that was called a dattaché. But anyways, moving on.
Moving on. Were we heading for the Wizard of Wines, I assume?
No, let's just not.
Yes.
Let's waste more
Well, we were
time in this
discussing
Let's
damn
go
thing.
all the way
Yes,
back to
I-
Bone Grinder.
I didn't know if you were discussing Kresk, so I need to check.
I feel like we left some loot at the death house. Let's go back there.
We skipped 2 entire floors. We probably left some loot at Death House.
Well, we could probably
But
find it
it-
within the
it-
we could probably find it within the ashes of the building now. Since he
Yeah, I
burned it
was
down.
just gonna say, yeah, we did burn down that
Not
house,
if there
so
were spell scrolls.
That's true.
Remember what happened in Storm King?
Oh god.
Okay,
I
so
think-
let's go get some booze.
Let's go get some wine.
So you turn down the road and immediately go into a very, very dense forest. It's very overgrown with vines and lichen and Spanish moss and all kinds of stuff hanging and festooning from the trees. It blocks out the light heavily overhead. It's rather difficult
Even more
to
so?
see.
on this journey through all these things, have we hit a long rest at any point, or are we still more?
Not
Is it the
since
same
you
day?
left Balaki. You were rested when you left Balaki. You are still on the same day that you moved out talked to the Vistani right away, went to the lake, rescued her, and it is
It's like
not.
4 p.m.
It's
at
like
this point,
mid
right?
after. Yeah, it's like 4 p.m. now. You have arrived at the entrance to the winery.
If this isn't a place for an ambush, I'll eat a hat.
Vlad casts guidance on himself, and then he is going to scan the area because this also looks like he also thinks this looks like a place for an ambush.
Wait, yeah. Can I hold on? Outsider or whatever. I have a thing for terrain.
It's
Okay.
you can forage food.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean I know I can forage food, but like here, where is
just-
the?
hopefully the recorded sound comes out better, but apparently the rest of us are coming out super quiet.
Oh, I
According
mean,
to someone.
Epoetus isn't.
No. I mean,
well,
like, I'm reading the
It's
chat.
to the people who are listening. So let me up the volume on you. I've just upped it to max volume. See if that'll be better for them.
Is this better for you listening people?
If you're talking about the Outlander, you can find fresh food and water for yourself and up to 5 other people, provided that you can forage them.
Yeah, I was also talking about Wanderer, but like if this is a new place, then I'm not going to be familiar with it. 'Cause I was going to say that if I'm familiar with it, I would probably be able to notice, probably footprints or something like that.
So
a
did you
little
want me to
easier.
give a perception check to check for ambushes?
That's what Derek is going to do as well, seeing as he's kind of like a traveler of sorts.
I'll
Right,
do
right.
that too.
Do whatever roles you have.
Woo!
That
I have the one job.
Well,
I'm not even really good at it.
So that's a total of 28.
nice.
As you turn into the thing, you immediately, those of, let's see, Vlad notices it right away, and Dirok, as Vlad moves his hand and starts to motion towards it, Dirok sees it right away. There is a man that looks like he is wearing a black cape. A very odd black cape. He's also wearing a pointed, almost like a wizard's hat, and some kind of mask. And he is leaning against a tree not far from where you came in. He isn't attempting to hide, but he is so dark, and the undergrowth is so dark, he was just very difficult to notice until Vlad pointed him out. He is watching you.
Me specifically?
No, the group.
Oh.
He is watching
So
the group.
as Vlad points to this gentleman, he says, "Hello there."
The man straightens off of the tree where he's leaning, and he speaks to you, and he has a very elderly voice. Good day to you, travelers. Why do you come down this road? I wish to warn you there is only danger ahead.
Well, our travels today take us to the Wizards of Wine to see why the wine flow has stopped to Valaki, and if we are able, then restore the wine flow.
Yes, well, the danger is the reason. I am Davian Martikov. I am the owner of the Wizard of Wines, and we have not been able to get a delivery out in weeks because of the assailants that have attacked us.
Well then,
Who
have an
are the
interviewer.
assailants?
Problem solvers are here.
Oh, yes. Vlad reminded me of something. Yes, you have
We're level 5.
You have brought Arabelle to your cause, and with that you have hit a milestone. You are level 5.
Yeah.
Do.
Okay, I'm all ready. I've had all my stuff pre-prepped. So Vlad says, Who are these assailants?
They are they are a corrupted group of druids that come from Yester Hill to the south. Up till now, they have left us alone. But for some reason, 2 weeks ago, they started coming into the winery, and they have done something to all the plants, and the plants are alive. They are attacking us. We have hidden here, away from the winery. We don't dare go. And with this, he motions behind him slightly into the undergrowth, motions with his hand like he's beckoning someone forward. And a large group of people in the same odd cloaks, and as you get closer to them, you see they are feathered cloaks. They are black feathered cloaks, and the masks are made to look like a representation of a bird's beak. And they all step out, and there are a total, counting him, there's a total of 4 adults. There's a couple of like teenage-looking sized individuals, and the woman in the group is carrying a young child who's also wearing like a miniature version of the same cloak.
I want those cloaks. What? Sorry.
Is there a particular reason for these bird cloaks that you are wearing?
He cocks his head sideways, almost in a movement that would be reminiscent of a bird. And he says, "They are very good at shedding the rain."
Oh! And Vlad snaps his fingers. He says, weren't the Martikos in Valaki saying something about the ravens being on our side?
You
He
know
says to the group in general.
other Martikos? Who do you know?
I forgot their names.
The innkeepers?
The innkeeper and his wife. What about them?
Erwin and Danica.
Yes, that was them.
Erwin
They're the ones
is
who
my good
we
for
are
nothing son who ran off and left us to run an inn.
Well, we are here on his behalf, and if we are able to, then we will solve your problem with the druids.
He did send us here to help. Bad good for nothing.
He wants his wine, but he doesn't want to come help make it anymore. He's off doing his own thing. I would warn you to be very careful as you go forward, especially as dark approaches. You will find much danger.
Us? Careful, say no more.
Sounds like what we've been dealing with.
Careful is harm.
We got this.
So he just crosses
We go
his
forth.
arms. Okie doke. Would you put your tokens on this road here in about the order in which you will be progressing forward?
I would assume that Dirok and Apotus are leading the way. So I'm.
The road is
Gonna do
this
that.
here. Goes off this way.
It looks like Riz is AFK for the moment. He mentioned that earlier. I assumed he'd be back by now, but well.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll be
Probably
towards the
somewhere
end
along
anyway. Yeah,
here.
Sylvia and he will be back towards the rear. Where will Jason be? Or Alex be?
I was gonna say Alex is gonna take rear guard.
Okay.
In a situation like this, there's a good enough chance of an ambush that they want at least one person that can take a hit near the back and 2 near the front.
Very good. So you shoulder
Keep
your
Dirok in the
weapons.
middle. Keep the party
They-
hit.
The
Hell and her.
the lead man, the older man in the raven cloak, touches his fingers to the brim of his cap like he's kind of tipping his hat to you and says, I wish you good luck. Please come back and get us if you are able to clear the winery, and we will see to getting the wine flowing again in Barovia.
Well, we will have to pass back here on our way back, so you will definitely know if we are successful. When we are successful.
And if we do not see you again, we will go to Valaki. So
Fair
you
enough.
start into this narrow road. It's a one-wagon road with ruts in it, leading deep into this underbrush. And as you go, give me a perception roll, please. Everybody.
She was being funky.
Woohoo!
This is Epotus right now.
Yeah. He's
There's a
just
leaf,
the
there's a
tank
tree.
in the front. He's just ready for whatever. But the others probably will tap him on the shoulder because the three with the higher scores definitely hear an unnatural rustling in the leaves. And as you move forward into the growth, you begin to see bushes and trees and vines, even the twigs at your feet begin to move with an unnatural movement and seem to take on a life of their own. And you notice large groups of things starting to move out of the undergrowth at you. Batches of them coming at you from all directions. They look like odd plants with almost faces and almost arms and almost limbs of various sorts, but they are coming from everywhere around you. And as I said, even small creatures from these tiny plants at your feet appear and are moving towards you. You have perhaps 50 feet between you and where all of these growths are starting to arise. And that is where we will leave it for this week.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you all for joining us, and we will see what happens next week as the forest of the Wizard of Wines makes itself felt.
We're not even from Isengard. What the heck?
We don't have any hobbits either.
Has a question for the DM. I know we hit the level 5 mark. Now, would we have access to the level 5 spells, or just?
No, not at level 5. You'll have to look at your spell list to see. It's usually only like level 3 is the highest you have at that point for spell.
No. Sorry, I mean access to the abilities we would get at level 5 is what I meant. Sorry,
yes.
that was me.
Are we considered totally leveled up and gain the things
totally
that we gain?
leveled up, and in this case, you don't have to worry about your hit points. I don't think. Nobody took it. Well, Alex took a little bit of damage at the beach, so he's the only one that has any damage. You would not regain those few hit points you lost, Alex, but you would gain the additional hit points that you got for leveling up. So let's
making note of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you were at 25 hit points and your max is 30 and you gained 5 hit points, you would be at like
20.
I'm 9 hit points down.
Right.
Yeah, I'm 9 hit points down, so I'm just keeping it proportionally 9 hit points down.
That's exactly right. You'll still be 9 hit points
down. Okay. The only reason I asked is because I was thinking, I was like, okay, we're technically being ambushed right now. I could drop Leo Mud's tiny hut on top of us, so we could kind of regather and figure out how a plan of attack.
I linked something in
combat now. You would have had to have done that while you were back with the Martikos.
That's true, because there's a cast time on it. But surprisingly, it's not in the spell list. I have to put it in there.
Yeah, a few of them you have to research.
It might just be under Tiny Hut for, I think, copyright reasons or something. The
Yes,
SRD tends to leave off the
they-
caster name.
Yeah, they've left off the Mordekainen and all of those, so that's true. You may need to look under just Tiny Hut.
All right, I'll look. I'm going down alphabetically through the spell list and just putting everything in there just to have it on the roster. But yeah, I'll look and see if it's in there. Period.
I will also tell you, for purposes of visualization in this, these creatures that you see on the screen that are moving towards you are multiples. Each one represents a grove of things that are moving towards you.
Wait, these things are plants, right?
Yes. You are
I linked something in the
groves.
COS stream.
Lovely.
I come with an ability called Speak with Plants. I'm wondering if that would do any good right now.
Would Speak with Bandits have particularly helped us?
What?
I'd
If we were
say
talking with bandits, would they have helped that much?
well,
Yeah.
we could figure out with the plants why they are being hostile.
Because a bunch of crazy fucking druids cause problems.
Yeah, but if they're doing it against their
Excuse me.
will.
I said they were crazy. Not all druids are crazy.
Oh yeah, okay. There's Tiny Hut, Tiny Hut, Tiny Hut.
Yeah,
I'll
always
just
take
rename
off.
it.
He's right. Always take off the caster's name when you do it because they're. I don't. As he says, it's
Okay.
some kind of thing. Mordekainen himself, I found out, was Gary Gygax. He actually
Aw.
was that character, and that was his
That's
character
cool.
he played
I'm
for
back.
years. And so there may be something to do with the fact that it may be Gygax family copyright or something.
I was also surprised that Feigned Death
Well,
is
no,
not.
it's because Mordenkainen, Leomund, all those things, those characters are copyrighted by Wizards of the Coast in D&D right now. They're copyrighted by them, so they're copyrighted characters. That's why the names got slashed off. It's because the SRD is intended to be used for
I feel like
by
this is what we're
anything.
getting attacked by.
Yes, and I will repeat the thing. Leomund was one of the players with Gary in the things, and he also was one of the original players. So yeah, those names that come on the Bigby's hand and all those were actual players.
That's cool.
Oh, and Melf was Gygax's son.
Yes. Yeah, he mentioned
He was
that.
a male elf.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
The Melf.
Yes. Yeah, and that's Luke. Luke is Melf. Yeah, and yeah, it's been fascinating picking his brain. He's just getting back. He's probably working his tail off right now, getting back from getting unpacked, getting it loaded back up in the van and whatnot for GaryCon. But he's been up there working his tail off. So yeah. Okay. Any further questions that we have for the night?
I never got it answered when I typed it to you. The battle axe that I got from Strasny, that is just like normal battle axe, right?
Correct.
Alright, because I was looking it up and that it can actually be used as both a one-hander or a two-hander.
I have a thing. I cannot see Apotus's health bar or his name.
Okay, let me fix that.
Huh.
That's just something.
Yeah, I was
Interesting.
wondering that too.
No problem. It just means I haven't checked something on his box. Now you.
And then
will
is
understand.
Alex actually hurt at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
he's
9
down
Well,
by
he got hit in the chest by Isaac.
Oh, Vlad would have healed that a long time ago if he had brought it up.
I thought he. Yeah, you
I thought you gave him good
I
berries.
did, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I gave him a couple good berries.
I was
Healed
up 8 more, which
points.
puts me 1 down.
One down, yeah.
Don't mind.
Very good.
There was actually something, side note, this is not directly related. I spoke to you earlier, I believe it was last, about changing a couple of my maneuvers as opposed to having to wait till level 7. Is that okay? I'll like this. I haven't picked them. I haven't picked them out because I just forgot this week.
When you level up, at leveling points, I allow you to properly replace, like a wizard can decide, no, I really don't like Mage Hand, I want something else, and they can swap it out at that time. So I will allow you to do some swapping around as long as it's appropriate to your level and your class.
All right. Yeah.
So I can't go henpeck. I can't go as the bard, I should not be going henpecking through my skills and going, I'll take that instead.
I don't want you to be doing it carte blanche all over the place, but if you've got one spell that you're saying, you know, I never need this, I would like to swap it out for one other ability, that's fine. And the same thing with Spider, he says, look, I'm never using this. Can I swap
I have never used Goading Strike, for example.
Exactly.
So yeah, I can just swap that out.
I don't like more than one swap out at a level, but at each level I will allow you to swap out.
Okay, I gotta figure out what 2 spells I'm using on at the 3rd level spells, because I've got interesting ones. I just don't think they'll be doing anything good for me right now. It's like
very good. Well, you know you will be in battle first thing next week. We'll roll for our initiative at that time. You know,
I want job.
You've got an entire. You were complaining that you hadn't had any fights. You've got an entire forest about to attack you.
Oh boy!
I've never been so happy.
Bird cloaks have faded out into the gloom and have disappeared behind you somewhere. They are keeping to themselves and they are not in sight. And you are basically finding yourself becoming surrounded by the forest. The forest is moving in on you. But you
don't forget that cantrips go up in power.
What power?
Cantrips at level 5 increase in power.
Oh, okay.
For instance, Eldritch Blast gets another beam, Firebolt gets an extra 1d10.
And right now the plants, in spite of the picture is drawn there, the plants are more than one movement turn from you, but they will be in contact within another turn. So the first